Welcome to Momatize Your Passion. If you're a mom ready to turn your God-given passions into a fulfilling work-from-home career or grow your online brand, you are in the right place. I'm Tara Lon, celebrity blogger, content creator, and passion and purpose coach. I'm here to help you use your talents to create fulfilling, money-making opportunities. My prayer is that you'll find inspiration from God, encouragement, and practical ways to momatize your passion. Hello and welcome to the last episode of 2024. So today I'm going to talk about a few things. One, I want to first talk about my book, which I know a lot of you have been expecting to be released this year, to be published this year. And after having my beta team read and give notes and just going through the notes, I've realized that there's so much information in there that it's information overload. It can get overwhelming and I don't want it to confuse people. So I am actually in the process of restructuring it. So I'm giving the exact things that need to be in the book and it's not too much. It's not an overload of information. So my goal is for a new publication timeline of second quarter of 2025. So be on the lookout for that. As it gets closer to the time, I will start talking about it again. But I did want to mention it to you because there's been several people asking about it. And I'm sure there's other people wondering what happened to that. And then also I want to recap 2024. So as many of you know, I rebranded this year at the beginning of 2024. So my focus this year has been on helping moms to monetize their God-led passions. And as a result of rebranding, I got super specific on my niche, my target audience. And as a result, my audience size tripled and my podcast went from a top 5% globally ranked podcast to a top 1.5% globally ranked podcast. But there's 5 main things that I think helped to grow my show to where it is today. I'm not saying it's some super big show, but I'm just saying as far as this year and how it grew. So the first thing is I optimize all of my titles and I made them search engine optimized. So as you know, I've talked about that. I'm not an expert in SEO, but I do know SEO. And I optimized my titles in a way where I put in keywords that I knew my audience, my specific audience would search for. So I made sure that my titles and inside the body of my paragraphs, it had keywords of things that my target group were looking for. And I believe that helped me with search. And when people go to search for certain things, they will find me. So the second thing that I think helped was that I focused on getting more reviews. And most people do not leave reviews, even if you ask them for, but I was just more intentional about it this year. And I got more reviews and I believe that helped as well. The third thing I think that helped was that I went from publishing podcasts every other week to weekly. So publishing weekly at the same time, it just made it easier for my audience to find me and to expect a podcast episode every Monday at 6 a.m. And I'm going to keep it that way. If I have time to do twice a week, I mean, ideally, I would love to do that. I don't have the time or capacity to do that. I'll keep it once a week. But that definitely helped by publishing weekly as opposed to every other week. The fourth thing is, yes, I rebranded this year, but I also got super niche and laser focused on my ideal customer. So as I mentioned earlier, I got clear on my keywords. So when I niched down, as opposed to before, my niche was so broad, I got super niche this year. And as a result, the same people started showing up to listen to my podcast because they knew what they were going to get every week, as opposed to being so broad. And then the fifth thing is because I did niche down and I got super focused and focused on my keywords, I was more focused on the content. So I have 5 content pillars that I post on a consistent basis. And as a result of me getting very clear and focused on my content, that helped with people coming to my show and again, knowing what they were going to get. So the focus for 2025. So going into 2025 and looking at my stats for 2024, I realized that some of my most popular episodes are ones about content creation and how you can create content to bring people to your brand and business. So those seem to be the ones that you're loving the most. So going into 2025, I'm still talking about how you can monetize your God-led passions, but it's going to be based on having a platform where you can actually use your gifts to reach people. So it's important that if you're trying to bring people to your brand or your business, that you have to have a platform that is going to bring people there. So 2025 is going to focus on creating content to actually bring people to your brand and your business. And as you know, I started my blog, Tinseltown Mom, 10 years ago, and I wasn't selling anything, but I was building my brand, building my platform. And same for you. If you don't have anything to sell right now, you can still build your platform. So if you're an expert in something, you need to use that platform to bring people to you. And going into 2025, I'm going to talk more about that so you are clear on how you're going to bring people to your platform, and you're going to be clear on the content that you are going to produce. So these are the main things that I want to make sure for 2025 you are going to be clear on. So number one, I want you to be clear on solidifying your niche and your ideal customer, because when you're clear on that, then you know where your ideal customer is going to show up on. You know what platforms that they're going to be hanging out in. So as a result of that, you know what platforms you need to be showing up on as well. So the next thing we're going to focus on is choosing your content creation platform. And my suggestion is to choose a long form platform like a blog, podcast, or a YouTube channel, and also a short form platform like Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Next, we're going to focus on your content pillars. So once you figure out what platform to show up on, you're going to be super clear on the type of content that your audience is expecting from you and the type of content that you should be focusing on. And then I'm also going to focus on monetization and how you can monetize your platform so you are clear on your offer and your audience is clear on your offer. And then last but not least, we're going to focus on goal setting. And you know, I'm a big goals girl. I think that's key in all of this. If you don't have goals, if you don't know where you're headed, then this is just all a dream. And I love that you're dreaming, but you want to make sure you turn that dream into a reality. And one way that you do that is by having written goals that you can actually see. I mentioned several times on this podcast before that my husband and I, we actually used to go on goals retreats every year. Now, just every quarter, we go to a nice dinner. We reflect on our previous goals and what we've accomplished, and then we talk about our upcoming goals. So if you do not have goals for 2025, I urge you to please have goals. Start off with your long-term goals, what you want to accomplish long-term. You can make that bite-size into quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, etc. Make sure it's written and make sure you have it posted somewhere so you can see it, it's visible, and you look at it on a regular basis so you know where you're headed. And I don't want you to feel stuck. I don't want you to feel stagnant. I want you to feel like you're actually moving towards something, that you're moving to accomplish something. Because when you're pursuing your God-led passions, you're going to find fulfillment, but also, and more importantly, you're going to be helping so many people that you are called to serve and to impact. So I'm really excited about 2025. I have some great guests lined up. My content creation calendar is filling up. I have some great ideas that I think are really going to help you. So if you need help with planning out your goals for 2025, I can help you with that. If you're trying to figure out what platforms you need to show up on, what content you should be creating, how to get clear on your niche, whatever it is, I can help you goal out for 2025 what your year is going to look like. So if you need help with that, book a call with me and let's get clear together. You can click the link in my show notes. There's a coaching application in there. Just fill it out. Let's just get this knocked out. So I hope this episode was a blessing to you. Prayerfully, this podcast is a blessing to you. If you know of another mom who could use this, would you do me a favor and share it with her? As you know, my platform is meant to be a blessing to mothers, so any support from you would be so appreciated. Until next time.